Interesting, Grant. All the All Black reserves were there doing the haka. Everybody's into it. They're certainly fired up.
Particularly Jonah Lomu, who had one last little message there for the Springboks. So the All Blacks down to 15 on the park now. The 7 reserves go to the stand. Peter Marshall from Australia to control the game, assisted by Wayne Erickson, also from Australia, and Jim Fleming of Scotland. And as I mentioned earlier, there is quite a wind blowing here in Durban today, and it will be swirling around the stadium. Difficult to know exactly who it favours. Peter Marshall checking with the All Blacks, and with Henry Honeyball to kick off, and the test match is underway. Claimed immediately by Isid Tolamaka, so he gets an early touch in his first test match, and Justin Marshall pumps the kick away downfield, putting Peter Russo under a bit of pressure. Maybe that's the All Black tactic early on, to bang the ball deep downfield. Back it comes with Cullen in space. Moves it outside the 22, and there's enormous distance from Christian Cullen. This may well go dead. And let's hope it stops, and it is going to stop. Big in goal areas, and they'll have to come back to the 22.
Well, the very first indication of what the tactics are, play the game in Springbok territory. Obviously, Mr. Hart has told the boys. Interesting kick of Justin Marshall's over the top of the first phase. Straight away, backs all up in defence.
Let's see whether this kick holds up in the breeze, indicating that the All Blacks have the advantage of the wind. They did get big distance. Here's the ball loose for Andre Fenter. Tidied up by James Dalton, just on the Springbok side of halfway. Now there's no All Black back here, and Lomu really having to fly back with Erasmus, and Lomu does well to scramble it back, but there was no one in defence, and Jonah had to use all his pace to get back.
And the crowd are going crazy. We're sitting here in a soundproof booth, but it's hardly soundproof, Grant.
So to the first line out of the game, and the Springboks have shortened it.
It's a tremendous opportunity for South Africa, actually. Short line out, clear opportunity for the ball, so close to the All Black line.
Andrews with a clean take, but the All Blacks resolute as they drive them back a metre or so. So Van der West takes it to Honeyball, flick back to Erasmus, who really wasn't expecting it, inside the 22.
There it is.
It's there for South Africa once again. Van der Westhuizen to Andre Snyman, fires it wide. Good attempt to tackle, but not making it. Was Clark. Now here's a chance for Ter Blanche. Gets away from Cullen and makes it. They missed their tackles, and Stefan Ter Blanche gets an early try for the Boks.
Well, it was a great try. A classic example of taking your opportunities. You're dead right. There was one bump tackle, and did they open it up from there? Let's have a look at this. So there's the big pass. There's the tackle of Ronnie Clark. Gets bounced off, just clearing the ball, Montgomery. And this is 2-on-1 here. Christian Cullen missing the tackle also. And the last man, Justin Marshall, not able to hold it. It was a great try for South Africa, and they're pretty pleased about it.
Ronnie Clark went in very hard on Montgomery, but he couldn't hang on, and freed it up for Stefan Ter Blanche, and he knows his way to the try line. It's only his 7th test, and this is his 8th try, and he stretches and makes it. And that's a big blow for the Springboks early on.
Well, it is a big blow for the Springboks for sure. This is exactly what they wanted. It was absolutely vital for New Zealand to start well in this game. When you play away from home, really the team has to fire right from the first few minutes.
Rather reminiscent of Johannesburg last year, when the Springboks made a tremendous start. Montgomery, he's hooked it. So the Ter Blanche try is unconverted by Percy Montgomery, but he's a try-scoring machine out on the right wing side. Nowadays his home ground is here at Kings Park in Durban, but Cullen missed him badly, and he couldn't get back in time. A loose ball here.
Sorry, push.
And an early push by one of the All Black forwards.
There it is.
Mark Andrews.
Actually, I think the All Black team has started very well. It's just that a number of things haven't gone in their favour, and South Africa have really cashed in. Which, of course, is the name of the game in Test match rugby. Only a few opportunities presented, and they must be nailed. Well, that was kicked over the top, and New Zealand were penalised for taking the man out, I think, or pushing the man without the ball.
Might have been a bit hard done by there. They were endeavouring to secure the ball themselves.
People over down the back.
So James Dalton, Trainer Otto, passes a loose one from Kempson, taken in by Honeyball. Now Van der Westhuizen to Dalton. 10-metre line All Black territory. Now Van der Westhuizen again, Honeyball. And here is Adrian Garvey with all his pace. And he's in touch. And they're getting those mobile forwards around the park.
Well, the Springboks are on fire. Big heat on New Zealand now. Just moving the ball to space, which of course is the key. Desperate tackle by Marshall, putting him to touch. All Blacks first line out, run by South Africa.
Well, it's against the All Blacks.
Troy kicking the ball. Straight across the line. It was right.
Tane Randall not happy about the way the line-out went. And I wouldn't mind seeing that line-out again. There looked to be a fair bit of shoving going on. Now here's a bit of arrogance for you. Montgomery's going to push it for the corner.
Well, that is a heap of it. Typical arrogance, I guess, but it's a very, very good call, isn't it? Because now South Africa have a line-out 4 or 5 metres from the goal line. Here it is. Here's that line-out. So someone jumping across. In fact, I would say that Marker was just about taken out. The penalty could have gone the other way.
Now the Springboks. Van der Westhuizen, Otto coming hard. Dragged down 5 metres out. It's good clean ball again. Honeyball looks inside for Fenter. All Blacks throwing themselves in defence. Now it's cleared out wide for Snyman. He's a real danger man, but Ronnie Clark doesn't miss this time. But they've controlled possession once more. Van der Westhuizen held on too long. Now Tier Blanche getting back. Kronfeld in after him. Good pressure here from the All Blacks. Just out from the 22, and Marshall digs it out. They can counter-attack here if they can shift it. Away for Lomu. Lomu will get outside Fenter. No problem. The big bloke on Montgomery. Just about got him. Now he finds Marshall. This is clever stuff. Can he get it? You bet he does. Justin Marshall.
Nailed by Marshall. Exactly what New Zealand needed desperately at this stage of the game, from one end of the field to the other. Talk about taking their first opportunity that was presented. They have done so. Let's have a look. Good pass here. Ronnie Clark, perfect timing, and Jonah did the business here. Outside Fenter. And have a look at the way he beat Montgomery. Kept his poise and unloaded the ball. Marshall didn't try and pick it up, just kicked it ahead. He patiently waited for that ball too, and it was really only 1.5 metres from the dead ball line. But Jonah, you beaut. Well done.
Clever stuff here from Marshall. He couldn't get his hands on it, so he used his feet and the deep in goal areas, and Justin Marshall gets his 12th try in Test matches, and the All Blacks are up level again.
Tremendous support play by Justin Marshall too. Remember, he gave the pass from the ruck, from the recovered ball, from the turnover, and followed up all the way. It's a good example to all young rugby players.
Well, it certainly silenced the crowd. Andrew Mertens, back in his hometown, I guess, born here in Durban, didn't play here in 1996. He was injured. Hits it low, and, well, it staggers over. Lomu sets it up. Marshall scores it, converted by Mertens. All Blacks lead by 7-5.
Very impressed with Jonah Lomu this week. We watched him train on Thursday. When it finished, he carried on training for himself, 10-metre bursts. He certainly did everything right the first time he's touched the ball.
Back to halfway. Honeyball's kick is not going to make it, and mistakes creeping in. The Springboks, they coughed it inside the All Black 22 and conceded a try. Now Honeyball has compounded the problem.
I just sense a fantastic air of
no ball, we're not
expectancy
going down.
in the
There's no
crowd
ball.
here.
Come on, straighten, please. Straighten, Black. Wait. Engage.
All Blacks with an interesting formation as Marker hands it off to Marshall. Cullen gets in, intercepted, tipped down by Rousseau. Springboks have lost the ball forward. They've turned it over for the All Blacks. So Mertens goes high again. They're putting pressure today on Montgomery. Up goes Cullen almost over the top. Play on, says the referee. 5 out from the 22. The All Blacks are hungry for the ball. They're going to get it. Now Clark. Off to Robin Brooks. Supporters there from Royce Willis. Marshall again for Mertens. A little nudge ahead. Kronfeld will be the chaser. Honeyball coming back. But the All Blacks might have conceded the first try, but they've got back very quickly.
Yes, I was just saying before, there is an air of expectancy in the crowd now. They were screaming fervently before, and now New Zealand answering back. They've gone quiet. Christian Cullen attacking the ball in the air. Montgomery under pressure, obviously, but this is the turnover here.
We've had 80 minutes in Wellington with 1 try. They've gone 10 here. We've got 2 already.
So second line out for South Africa.
And this will be against Royce Willis.
I won't have it. Thanks. Next time you'll have a rest. Take the player out in the air. Must hit the ground.
Well, nothing wrong with a bit of aggression.
Now, Mr. Marshall stamping his authority earlier in the game. We've had 4 lineouts, I think, and 2 of them have ended up in penalties. But I guess if a referee does that in the first few lineouts and it actually clarifies the situation and we don't have any trouble for the rest of the game, then it's a big plus. I guess that's what you call taking out the player in the air, which of course is against the rules, so it was a justified penalty.
Well, Mark Andrews knows that Royce Willis is on the park. This time they go to Otto, quickly off the top again. Lovely pass, Van der Westhuizen. Honeyball with a surge up towards halfway. There it is again for Van der Westhuizen. Venter has stayed out wide. Marshall and Willis combined to make the tackle. Now they have it again. Peter Muller determined to keep it in hand with the captain, Teichmann. Now Van der Westhuizen gets dumped again, and he didn't release it. Well, they're going to keep the ball in hand. There's no attempt by the Springboks to try and put it in behind the All Blacks.
No, we're seeing 2 different sets of tactics for sure. Great offensive defence by New Zealand, not allowing South Africa to break the advantage line.
And Andrew Mertens is going to have a shot at goal here. He's 8 metres on his own side of halfway and a wee bit of an angle, maybe 6 metres, but still it's a massive kick as we go back to the infringement.
The New Zealand player going over, still keeping his feet, and we couldn't see from that angle. Well, Andrew Mertens has got the breeze supposedly behind him, and we did mention that it is swirling here, but it is a westerly breeze, should be directly behind him.
Didn't hit the first one particularly well. It's low and it's hard, and it's just away to the left.
It was interesting, kicking with the wind, he kept the ball quite low. It was very close though, decent sort of a nudge.
Bloody ball from the 22, good kick-off. Plenty of interference there. Lomu gets up and does well on the All Black side. Mertens again down for Montgomery, putting a lot more pressure on the fullback today than we saw previously. A lot of these South African players played in the test in Johannesburg last season, but in different positions. Montgomery was at centre. Andre Schneemann, who's playing centre today, was on the wing.
Well, of course, that often happens when you get a change of selector or a change of coach. Everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. This one by Nick Mallett, though, seems to be working for them.
Up high was Randall, brought out by Brook to Mark Meyerhoffler. Almost to the halfway line. Dragged out by Marker. The All Blacks determined to be going forward today, and this is how they'll do it. Big Royce Willis hits hard. Marshall and Mertens punching it high once again. It's for Montgomery to work out again. He's made a hash of it, and what's he going to do?
Well, he can't ground the ball. He must kick for touch.
Well, I think they've learned that you can put a bit of pressure on this bloke, something they didn't do in Wellington.
Well, it's a great recovery. The crowd seemed to appreciate Montgomery getting out of it. He created the problem, of course, because he didn't field the high ball. Have a look at it. He lost it somehow, straight through his arms, in fact, off his foot. New Zealand winning the line out here.
Well, the puck has gone the other way. Honeyball hoops it away downfield. Wilson and Cullen going back, looking to see whether they can conjure anything up, but I don't think there's anything on for them. And Wilson's kick is not going to be out. Whipped across by Van der Westhuizen to Montgomery. He puts it down as far as Lomu.
So points to the Springboks from that little confrontation. It all started 50 metres downfield on the other side of the field with New Zealand thrown to the line out. This is a good little bounce off to the touchline. The old rugby ball does strange things.
Lineouts haven't worked it too well as yet, but that's much better from Oliver to Brook. Just on their own 22. Marshall for Mertens. Not getting the distance this time. Straight down as far as Rousseau. The little kick that Wilson's read pretty well. Now Cullen. Good effort by Christian Cullen. Makes it just out from the 22. There's Kronfeld on the charge. As the All Blacks regroup.
There go! There!
Justin Marshall trying to get his hands on it, but it was too long in coming back.
Great scrum.
Great work by the Springboks. Effectively stopped New Zealand winning that ruck. The last one that Kronfeld was driving away was a great little interpiece between Jeff Wilson and Christian Cullen there.
Good attacking opportunity here for the Springboks. Teichmann hands it off the back to Van der Westhuizen. Wide it goes to Snyman. Meyerhofer hangs on to him. Now they transfer to Ter Blanche. It's forward. Got a little game going on here, but the whistles were gone 10 seconds ago. They obviously didn't hear it.
Well, the crowd are booing. I don't see too much wrong with it. It's a little bit physical perhaps. Ter Blanche was fairly drilled here.
Wait, come on, get the crouch. Get the crouch. Okay.
Adrian Garvey against Carl Hoft. Isi Tolamaka gets to the advantage line. Next off is Randall. Fires himself hard, but there's some strong defenders around the fringes in the Springbok side.
Up.
Very good defence by South Africa. Marker having a crack from the base of the scrum, which of course is what he's been picked for. Was held up right on the advantage line, as was Randall, who followed him. Good defence. This man's like a loose forward round the side of the scrum, of course, Honeyball. He is the first 5'8", but he's more like the physique of a flanker, really.
He's a magnificent defender. Marshall with the feed. And Van der Westhuizen is too early.
No, his head was there. That's okay. He's only lose one. Only arm around it.
He's suggesting the referee might go and look at the replay on the big board, which is a fairly arrogant approach. However,
so there it is, right exactly on the halfway line. New Zealand ball. Well, it's been a great little mix. There he is, yes, doesn't it show clearly? There's no way he could have been onside.
Anton Oliver. Tane Randall is the jumper. Hoff drives in on him. Olo Brown getting a little isolated. Now they arrive and free it up for Marshall. Robin Brook wasn't expecting it, but he'll take it anyway. Now Marshall to Mertens. Knocked down by Honeyball and lost forward, but nevertheless away goes Cullen with that explosive pace. Now Marshall up to Kronfeld, looking to burst up the middle and doing well, Josh Kronfeld. That's a couple of strong runs he's made. Now Marshall hands it off to Olo Brown once again. And the All Blacks are certainly making over the advantage line today.
It's something that has been missing in the last 3 games. Everybody's well aware of that, and that's what they're doing well. It's a pick and go which has been missing, and they're doing that effectively today. And it's the desperation on enjoying.
Bit of old-fashioned treatment there. The player was all over the ball, and he got what he deserved.
Stay behind at half 9. Time. Not yet, not yet.
Yes, it does show how the game's changed. He called it old-fashioned treatment, but he wasn't really rucked hard. I mean, I just remember 10 years ago a player in that position would have been really drilled.
Wait! No. Engage.
All Blacks in a good attacking position. Marshall sets Mertens alight. Now Meyerhoffler, Lomu in, bounces one out of the road. Marshall waiting for it to pop back.
Leave it now, leave it hard.
And here it is now. Robin Brooke stayed out wide once again. The educated right boot of Robin Brooke pushing it down towards the line. And is it going to make it? It's not a badly judged kick. Away for Tier Blanche. They're all standing back waiting for him. And here he goes, the speedster. Oliver has a dive at him. Mertens having to get back. Mertens and Cullen. Cullen and Honeyball. Cullen somehow extracts himself. 10 out from the 22. Meyerhoffler. Supports there from Marshall. They're going backwards here. But they've controlled the ball well. Near the 22. Now it's out wide for Clark. Ronnie Clark. 10 out from the 22. And the Springboks are going to get it. Garvey heaves it away for Honeyball. The kick is pretty ordinary though, and Cullen does a marvellous job. Now he sets it in late motion again. Fires it into Lomu. Lomu's got Wilson. Now there's a big chance. Who's got the pace? Sneyman staying with him. Erasmus getting back. Wilson there as well. Erasmus does well. And a knock-on by Montgomery. Oh!
What an unbelievable passage of play. Absolutely outstanding work by both teams. A crucial turnover to South Africa and kicked over the top by Honeyball. And then Christian Cullen did what only Christian Cullen can do. And this is the end of it. Wilson backing himself for speed. And he had enough of it too by the looks of it. But there was another Springbok player already on the ball. Who was that? Tier Blanche, was it?
Erasmus. What a marvellous effort for a loose forward.
Desperately flicked and then knocked on. Great attacking position for New Zealand here. Big scrum.
They're going to take them on in the scrum, and they're doing okay too. Edging up. Marker holding in the back.
Now's the time to pick it up.
This is an excellent scrum. Well, they might put another one down here.
Great control by Isatola Marker. The front rows went down. The scrum was still moving forward. He had an option to pick it up or keep it going. He decided, he made that decision to keep it going, and New Zealand were awarded the penalty.
Delight in the All Black camp. They know they've got the better scrum. There were some high fives after that.
Well, of course, that's a huge psychological blow, particularly against that's a Springbok front row there, particularly against the Springboks. To psychologically beat your opponents in the first big scrum when you put it on them is tremendous. Those profs will be feeling good. Well, I do think we see a different New Zealand team, Grant, in this game. They seem desperate to get to the ball, desperate to drive over the ball. Numbers to the ball, I think, is the key. And obviously playing a tactical game as well as being prepared to chance around when the opportunity presents.
Andrew Mertens. Seven points to 5 it remains. The All Blacks have had real problems in the Tri Nations series with goal kicking.
Well, he kicked it so incredibly hard, it looked like it was going to go over, but it didn't.
Isitola Marker, pound. Excellent run. 15 out from the 22. Marshall hands it off to Olo Brown. They really have got them moving forward today. Kronfeld standing a bit flat. Back for Marker. He'll get it going forward. Isitola Marker, he's got a man in support, and it's Tate Randall. The captain's in.
Well, they're pretty pleased, and so they should be. That was superb combination. Support play from this man, Tate Randall. Isitola Marker saw the gap. He took it straight through. Have a look at the replay here. Josh Kronfeld went back the other way. Marker back the same way. There's the hole. Now, he didn't try and knock over the fullback. He drew Randall. Of course, Randall's got real gas. What a great try.
Mertens converts. Tane Randall, 9th test try, set up by Isi Tolamaka, and didn't it open up? And a beautifully timed pass. It looked like it was going to Robin Brooke, but Randall just flew up on the inside. And look at the delight.
You know, that's a bit of communication there, because I was watching the game and I thought Robin Brooke was going to get the pass, and we saw Tyson was right on Brooke's shoulder and he would have dropped him in his tracks. So there must have been a lot of talking out there.
Honeyball with the kick-off. Springboks a bit stunned at the moment. 2 tries to 1. Tysman's away, but the whistle is gone. The ball was lost forward. It was knocked forward by one player, recovered by another, which of course constitutes a knock-on.
We haven't got the ball. We haven't got the ball. We're waiting.
What a feast we've had. 14 points to 5. It's just been non-stop action.
15 minutes remaining in the first half. Mertens inside his 22. And Montgomery fields it on his own 10-metre line. And his kick is a bit of a nothing kick, really.
Well, I'm not quite sure what Andrew Mertens was doing then. Maybe he was putting pressure on Montgomery.
Staying well back here, Mertens, which indicates he's going to go with a long one. Honeyball near his 22. He's got Russo on his outside. The All Blacks coming up very flat. He had a go at them, and, well, it was a knock-on, and then he was offside. So they'll go with the first infringement.
I think it was the right call by Rousseau there, because New Zealand came up in a big line of defence right across the field. He spotted a gap, so he had it. It was Honeyball, wasn't it? He had a little bit of a crack, but of course the mistake was he lost the ball on the tackle. So in effect, that's like a turnover. New Zealand ball, good opportunity from the scrum. It's a big blindside, and there goes Mertens on the blindside.
Marshall flying. Mertens has got the pace. Now the little kick ahead. Van der Westhuizen and Mertens. And now, was that kick touched by a Springbok player? Obviously not. I think there might have been a little bit of a nudge there, but let's have a look. When Mertens kicks it, does a South African player get a hand on that? I suspect fingertip from Montgomery.
Yes, it looked like it. In fact, we saw Jeff Wilson asking the side touchline.
Here's Cullen. Always beats the first man. Hands it off to Willis. 10-metre line All Black territory. And some solid work there, but they couldn't free it.
Yes, Willis was left alone there. The only supporting player was a winger. In fact, it was Jonah. He used to be a number 8, but he didn't drive over like a number 8 should. Not able to clear the ball, huh?
So it looks like we have our first injury break. Chance for everybody to get a breath. And one of the South African players, I think, is being attended to. Let's have a look at some of these stats, Murray.
Well, New Zealand retaining 12 was the first one that was most significant. 12 against 7. Almost 2 to 1.
They've got a new lease of life, the All Blacks.
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? 52-53 to New Zealand, 48-47, so it's very evenly shared. And I think it's fair to say it has been since this game started. It's just sort of whizzed past. But both teams have been full of action, full of intent, obviously. New Zealand winning the first part of this match, though, on the scoreboard by 14 points to 5.
Let's go.
Van der Westhuizen scrum is under pressure. Carl Hoff is making life very difficult for Adrian Garvey.
Yes, it was almost, it wasn't, did I detect a smile on his face, Carl Hoff?
They're only just holding. Honeyball. Peter Muller looking for Rousseau. Got past Mertens. Ball came off the hand. Now it opens up for Marshall, who looks to be running much more freely in this game than we've seen since his comeback.
Well, I dare say he's been under instructions to have a bit of a go.
Stop. Get it out. Get it out, halfback. Get it out.
Now Marshall for Mertens. Change of direction this time. Montgomery going back with Tep Blanche in support.
Yes, it was an interesting choice by Montgomery then. It was very rare that New Zealand kicked the ball deep and there was only one man up on putting the pressure on the ball. It was Jonah. Montgomery had support back there because it could have easily drawn and passed. The The option was to take the big kick downfield, which he's done, but of course it concedes a throw to the opposition.
Anton Oliver looking for Robin Brooke. Again, clean off the top. Now here comes Clark. Runs hard. Loses the ball in the tackle. He really fired himself at the defence there, Ronnie Clark.
That's right, black player, black player.
But one thing the Springboks can do, and that's tackle.
Yes, that midfield defence of theirs is really magnificent. But when you look at Van der Westhuizen, Honeyball, and of course both the centres, she's a pretty hard one to penetrate.
I think the All Black scrum's enjoying themselves here. There's probably a little bit of chatter going on as well.
Well, that often happens in the front row. Nobody likes to talk about it, but when one team gets a little bit of ascendancy, or perhaps they feel they are, they often tell the opposition.
Stay down.
Trapped by Teichmann. Van der Westhuizen. A little nudge ahead. Cullen waits for Marshall. And it falls for Van der Westhuizen. Marshall has to make the tackle on him. The All Blacks getting back quickly. They don't get it back though. Now there's a chance. Muller should have gone to the outside. There are a couple of players. Passed up the opportunity. Now Rob Kempson.
It's still on though.
Van der Westhuizen, the Fenter, still on the 10-metre line. Time for the All Blacks to make some big tackles. Honeyball to Teichmann. The captain stretches, doesn't make it. Referee Peter Marshall's right there, and he'll take the scrum. Desperate.
Absolute intense effort by South Africa. They had an opportunity out wide too. I think it was Muller should have passed it. But have a look at this. Look how close he must have come to that line. Well, I'm a bit further away than I thought, actually. Good half metre. Ronnie Clark was somewhere in the bottom of that. He certainly got dealt to. Here we are. We'll see that now. Yeah, that's a little tickle up. Welcome back to Test Rugby. No fun, but unfortunately he was right where the ball was.
You won't mind that. It was a try-saving tackle. Big opportunity here for the Springboks. 9 minutes out from half-time. And of course it was from a similar position here. They scored that sole try in Wellington.
And look at the backline defence now. We can't see it on the screen, but everybody's to the right-hand side of the scrum. There's no one on the short side. So what's going to happen here? That is the question.
Back inside it goes with Mark Andrews. He's taken close to the line. They held on to it. Relief for the All Blacks.
Must have been difficult for the Springboks though. I mean, they were short of the goal line and they felt the impetus behind pushing them over the line. And of course you can't hold on the ball, but once you get over the line, of course everything's legitimate. In fact, it would have been a try.
Mertens with the relieving kick.
Well, that was one storm weathered by New Zealand. May be very crucial by the end of this game. Yes, the ball is up in the air, and of course, in fact, we see it very clearly. Obviously holding on.
Anton Oliver. Robin Brooke fires it away for Marshall. Mertens shifting it on to the man with a powerful left boot, Mark Meyerhoffler. Montgomery does well this time, but they're closing him down quickly. Meyerhoffler waits, and in the end it touches him, quickly thrown. But the whistle's gone for some reason.
The whistle's gone because he didn't throw it from the spot. Of course, you're allowed to throw it away from the spot as long as you're behind where the touch judge was. You hear Marshall explaining. Perfectly done by Montgomery, right near the touchline. Meyerhoffler not grabbing it, which means South Africa ball.
Yes, you can throw the ball backward of the mark, but not forward of it.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Raynor Otto with the clean take. 7 minutes out from half-time. Here comes Willis onto Van der Westhuizen. Does a good job of him too. Now Marshall. Mertens goes to the boot again. floating it away down as far as the try scorer, Stefan Terblanche. All Blacks coming up very flat once again. Mertens holding back, waiting for this near the 22. Cullen. Now it's a Teichmann back. Oh, let it bounce. Why did he do that? Cullen's flying.
Christian Cullen, he didn't go for the tackle, then he went for the ball. We may not see it in replay. It's typical of Cullen making the right choice. I was surprised of Gary Teichmann. He must have lost the ball perhaps. Remember, the lights are on. He may have been looking into the light. And it was a kind bounce for New Zealand.
Yes, it's coming up to 6 o'clock in the evening local time, so the lights on in the stadium.
The lights are on and everybody's home.
What a first half it's been. 14 points to 5. Brook taps it down again. Now Meyerhoffler on the charge. Mark Meyerhoffler. 10 metres out from the line. The All Blacks with a big chance here if they can free it quickly. They're working overtime to get it back. What a great burst by Meyerhoffler.
It is, and you know, the reason for it is that the New Zealand backs are running onto the ball. That was great ball off the top of the line. It was beautifully cleared by Marshall. And Meyerhoffler was steaming onto the ball. It's much easier to break a tackle when you do that. You'd be feeling much better, I would say.
Back in his favourite position, second 5'8" now. Mark has got the ball trapped. Front rows have gone up and they're working hard too. Look at them. They're having a good go in there. And on Oliver against James Dalton. There's a couple of buttes. Carl Hoft's involved as well. And I bet there's a few words being said.
Yes, it's great stuff. There's all sorts of different battles going on in this field. I wouldn't like to be a New Zealand spectator out there at the moment. Hasn't been squashed between two Afrikaners at the moment by yourself, pretty lonely in the stand.
We'll live with it, Murray, as long as the score stays the same.
Well, it's a magnificent position for New Zealand, putting the acid right on South Africa in the scrum, and here they have another one, 5 metres out. We've got Jonah Lomu and Christian Cullen standing on the short side, you see.
Dalton's gone down, so Oliver will probably not say very much, but oh well, bit of claret
from his tongue, so obviously he either bit his tongue or
bit his tongue.
Or bit his tongue.
Justin Marshall and Tane Randall, the try scorers. Narka-Drotsky, of course, in the reserves for South Africa. Would love to get on. These two, Dalton and Drotsky, have a great scrap. The Gauteng Lions.
Have a look at the back position here. We see Christian Cullen telling everybody that he's on the short side. And on the open side of the field, we have the New Zealand back spread very, very wide. So that splits the defence, and there's Marker going. Marker
to Marshall. Oh, just tipped down. Now, was that deliberate? I reckon it probably was. The referee's got the arm out. Yes, it was. And that was a try-saving tap down. Randall would have been in again for sure. But they're happy to concede the 3 points. What a good move, though. And he would have been in. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
It was a great move, Grant, because the way they put their attacking field, it split the defence, and then they ran it close to the scrum. And they not only ran it close to the scrum, they actually moved it one place away from the scrum. And that really puts pressure on the opposition defence.
Andrew Mertens to knock this one over, which he does quite comfortably. 17 points to 5. Who would have believed it?
Thinking precisely that, Grant. Who would have believed it? Everybody in Durban, to a man, I would say, was unanimous that South Africa would win this game. Yes, have a look at that. They moved it to Marshall, and there goes the pass. And Tyson, well, it was a definitely intentional knock-on or knock-away, deflection, whatever.
Important time here for the All Blacks. Just a couple of minutes out from half-time to carry this good advantage into the break. Marshall fires it back to Mertens. And he's got excellent distance here, Andrew Mertens. Rousseau going back, but what a kick from Andrew Mertens.
Well, Mertens looks comfortable, he looks poised, but Marshall's the one that really looks like he's come forward leaps and bounds in 1 week. And that makes it so much easier for that man you see on your screen. And the halfback's confident in clearing the ball well and giving him just that much more time, the time that he needs. Well, I dare say all those New Zealanders at home watching this at 3 o'clock in the morning, they'll all be very pleased that they stayed up. It's a great start in the first half, but we've got a lot of rugby left in this game.
James Dalton. Otto with the clean take. They're deep inside their own 22, the Springboks. Haven't seen too many forward drives from the men in green so far today. They get one going here, but in the end they spoil it a bit, even though it's still Springbok ball. They take it quickly. Rousseau took it up and Kronfeld nailed him. Here's Andre Fenter trying to make ground around the fringes of the maul, but there's no room. Now it's back for Fenter again. Wasn't expecting it, and he's taken behind the advantage line. The boots on the other foot. It's the South Africans not able to get over the advantage line today. Honeyball. Wilson scampering back.
Well, it was a good kick by Honeyball, relieving pressure. Yes, I think it is fair to say that New Zealand are breaking the advantage line. South Africa battling. So compliments to the defensive line. When New Zealand kick the ball down, they're following it up in the line. But it's around the ruck and the maul area that the defence is so good. It's aggressive defence.
Robin Brooke has taken 5 or 6 clean takes in the first half. Really is calling his own number here today. As the All Blacks again make ground forward. Marshall has got it. Mertens away for Clark. Straight to Lomu. Lomu on Tia Blanche. Gets scragged. Wilson chased and taken by Honeyball.
Turn over to South Africa here. It's a great tackle by Honeyball.
Nudged away by Van der Westhuizen. Here's an awkward one for Cullen. Lomu's done well. Wayne Erickson has told Peter Marshall the ball was lost forward by South Africa, and he blows for half-time. And what a first half from the All Blacks. 2 tries to 1, with Tia Blanche opening up for South Africa, making it 5-0. Then Marshall and Randall for the All Blacks, both converted by Mertens, who kicked a penalty goal. Half-time here at Kings Park in Durban, as the All Blacks are ahead by 17-5.
We didn't have to wait long for the first try. 3 minutes, in fact. Stefan ter Blanche finding the All Black defence wanting an early wake-up call from the New Zealanders. 5-0 South Africa. But there are a few greater sights in world rugby than Lomu at full tilt. He drew the cover. Justin Marshall with the All Blacks ahead, 7 points to 5. Isotala Marker searched for the gap. Tane Randall went through it. At half-time, New Zealand lead South Africa in 3 minutes of the first half. So they've just kicked off. At Kings Park in Durban, let's hand you back to your commentators, Murray Mexted and Grant Nisbet.
I don't think he was offside then, actually. The ball came out, the ball was actually out, but Marshall couldn't clear it because there was a block in the way. And then, of course, Teichmann came through. He was actually onside, but it made it look like he was offside.
It's interesting, just before half-time, as we have another look here. And it was the captain, I think, coming through.
Yes, it was definitely Teichmann. I think it was hard luck, actually.
Teichmann looked to be in trouble just before half-time. He was almost held from the field at half-time, and it was perhaps a little surprising to see him come back. But he is back. Craner Otto is not there, replaced by Bobby Skinstad. So they've obviously gone for more mobility.
It's a very interesting choice, isn't it? Craner Otto's a huge lock, and Skinstad, of course, is a big loose forward, but certainly not a tight forward. So yes, there's more mobility. Maybe they've appreciated that they're getting beaten to the ball, because I think New Zealand is getting to the ball in numbers better, only just.
We'll get some indication here of just how strong the wind is. Mertens from a very wide angle. You certainly get the distance. And that's a magnificent kick by Andrew Mertens. What a way to start the second half. And the All Blacks out to 20 points to 5.
Yes, it was very cool and calm, wasn't it? Slotted in, and then he sort of strolled back as though he knew it was going over.
Honey ball for South Africa. Oliver wants it. Oliver has it. Laid back nicely for Marshall. Merton's positioning himself inside the 22. Forced to go onto the left boot by the pass. Now Blanche waits for the bounce. And he gets monstered by Kronfeld and by Meyerhoffler. But the Springboks have it just on the All Black side of halfway. Honeyball. Keeping it low. It's going to sit up for Christian Cullen. And his kick spiralling away downfield is a good one.
Honeyball kicking the ball very well, obviously not wanting to put him to touch, just keeping it close to the touchline, forcing Cullen into a situation of shall I run or shall I kick it over, kick it out and give the ball away from the line-out. Cullen taking the option, the safe option, which is probably the right one when you look at the scoreboard.
Well, that didn't look to be straight. Andrews had to stretch right across on the All Black side. Here's Erasmus, fires it back to Van der Westhuizen. A little stab kick in behind with Lomu and Rousseau. And Jonah playing out on the right wing for that phase of play. The All Blacks have made no changes at the half-time break. Look at that, there's no way that's straight. The referee probably allowing it because he felt it was on the All Black side, but that's not the point, it wasn't straight.
That was great pressure by Robin Book. South Africa, of course, have a problem now. They've really only got one.
Oh, you're offside. Offside.
That's against the All Blacks offside.
Just going back to that line out. Kicking the touch. Very interesting. So they're having a go. They need to score and they want to score. But it is a marvellous opportunity. Own ball the line out a couple of metres out, but of course with one lock it means that the All Blacks can really concentrate on Andrews, which makes it so much harder for him. And will they use him here at the front of this line out? There he is.
Way back to Teichmann so they can open up the blind side. Desperate defence by the All Blacks. They are going to use the blind side. Van der Westhuizen loves to have a go. Now they've held it up off the ground. It's All Black ball. Bit of work being put on Royce Willis, but he doesn't mind that. The All Blacks have got it back.
No, at the end of the game, those sorts of things don't hurt if you achieve a turnover. But that was actually great defence. He loves to have a crack, doesn't he? He had one then, he ran into a brick wall, a big black wall of players. They drove him back and they created a turnover. Have a look at this. Bang, that's three of them, and then they just drove him backwards. Well, that's the way to defend. Superb, of course, the ball is off the ground, and that was Willis holding it. That's why he got rucked. In some respects, he was stopping it from coming out.
Having a wonderful debut test, Royce Willis.
Stay down.
Market controls. Just starting to grab a crossfield, so the referee will have to set it again, but once again, even though they were going across, they were also moving forward.
I just saw a little nod from Olo Brown at his opposite then. Well, that was a great plus for New Zealand because it was going across field, but it was always going away from the goal line as well. And they still retained the put in.
Marshall free this one to Marshall. Mertens in his own goal area. And not really getting great distance, but enough.
So still in a good attacking position for South Africa, needing to do something, needing to make some play, to probably lift the morale of the players, I guess. So often in the game there's a turning point, and I feel that there's a turning point here. If South Africa are able to get back here and actually score a try, it'll give them heart. Well, isn't it square? 51% territory to South Africa over 49, so it couldn't be closer. Possession favouring New Zealand just a little bit.
Those statistics not reflected on the board though. 20 points to 5. The All Blacks in front. We're now 6 minutes into the second half. The All Blacks winning here 2 years ago by 23 to 19. Honeyball straight across, awkward pass. That's broken down. Randall secures possession. All Blacks onto it like a shot. Marshall to Mertens. more room this time, could get better distance, sending Rousseau back. Awkward bounce, here comes Wilson. Wilson on the outside of Rousseau. He's got Cullen there. 5 out from the 22, lays it back for Oliver to scoop up. There's not too many All Blacks in support, and I think he's been turned.
Great turnover, South Africa.
Away goes Garvey. Wilson stays close to him. Now it's Van der Westhuizen to Rousseau. Marker drives hard at him. Now they free it away for Muller. Oh, what a tackle. Tate Randall, I think it was. Welcome to the show. Back it comes for Lomu to chase. Lomu and Tia Blanche. He's got no hope on Jonah, surely. Kronfeld, 10-metre line, All Black territory. Marshall scoops it away for Meyerhofer, fires it out to Mertens, looking to counter-attack. Probably the pass would have been the better option, and Rousseau's able to clear it out.
Well, there's an example of everybody almost doing the right thing. Andrew Mertens could be criticised, I guess, for that kick, but I don't think he saw the lone defender sitting over there by the touchline. He was well out of position, actually. But look at this tackle by Randall.
What a beauty.
Caught midships and driven backwards. And Jonah had a little bit of a go here. There's a bit of interaction between the wingers. But well held on by Tia Blanche and Montgomery. And there's Jonah getting back in again.
Robin Brook, that's a penalty.
Take him out, guys. Leave him alone. In there.
Yes, of course, you can't be taken out in the air. Both teams have been penalised for that today, so Mr. Marshall being consistent.
Oh, wait.
Just holding it up for the moment. Isitola Marker is down. It was Robin Brook who hit the ground hard, but Marker injured. Let's see where he is. He's the support player for Robin Brook. Maybe he caught a glancing blow from Brook's elbow as he went down, I think.
Yes, I mean, Brook could have been hurt, I guess, because his legs were taken out. And of course, Marker was holding him. He was his only sort of saving grace, really. So lineouts 10-9, scrums 4-7. So not many scrums in the game. We've had first half only 11 scrums.
So Scott Robertson has taken the tracksuit top off. Not sure about the extent of the damage here. I guess as he turns around we'll be able to work it out, but he's very unsteady. There's Isitola Marker. This is a big blow.
Yeah, so he's collected it right on his nose. You can see the blood. So it was either the knee or the elbow, I think, of Robin Brook as he was going down. That's hard luck for Isitola Marker because he has played well. He certainly justified his selection in the team in this first half.
Well, he could be back later as Mertens takes the penalty. So Randall will push back to number 8, and Robinson, it looks like Ollie LaRue is ready to come on for the Springboks as well.
So that's a signal that they are not happy with the scrum.
Gives him plenty of mobility, Ollie LaRue. You wouldn't think so to look at him, but he's quick around the park as the All Blacks control this near halfway. Oliver's had a strong game tonight as he makes it up into Springbok territory. Now they'll be keen to get this one to ground to free it up. Referee telling Green to let it go. So Marshall to Mertens, punching it up wide again. Montgomery inside his 22, and he called for the fair catch, which is a shame really because his kicks are shocking.
So the pressure continues on Montgomery, but he did handle that one beautifully. He was running hard for the corner, marked the ball because of course he was blind to where the All Blacks were. Big Ollie LaRue.
Now they move it out to South Africa from inside their 22. Van der Westhuizen waiting for Honeyball. They've got numbers here, and skin stab with his pace. Meyerhofer makes an excellent tackle. Willis controls it well, and the All Blacks are going to get this one back. Well, they ought to. It's coming rather slowly. Marshall hands it off to Robertson, who makes 5 metres with a good charge. Scott Robertson on for Isitola Marker. Here's Cullen getting in the action and close. All Blacks hanging on to it. Marshall delivers again for Mertens. Away for Ironi Clark. 10-metre line. They need to get numbers there, the All Blacks. And they'll get the scrum. The crowd's not happy about the referee, but I guess no crowd inside it down by 20-5 ever is.
But there was no problem with that. I mean, it was a clear case. This is Honeyball making a break, putting Skinsetter away. It was a great tackle here by Meyerhofer. Almost took ball and all. And we didn't see it, but Royce Willis tidied that up from there. That's Garvey going off.
Ollie LaRue replaces Adrian Garvey, but the All Blacks have the scrum. Looked away to Mertens. Here's Clark. Takes it to the advantage line. They've lost this one forward, I suspect. Yes, they have.
Green scrum.
Certainly lost forward by New Zealand. Results in a turnover. Yes, well, Garvey going off and Ollie LaRue coming on. Now, both local boys, both here from Natal.
Up, gentlemen. Hey, once again, please. Once again, wait.
On the loose head side here.
Back, please. Back, gentlemen. Wait.
So that means that Kempson's gone across onto the tight head. See if it makes a difference to the Springbok scrum, which has been a little unsteady, I think it's fair to say.
I guess so, and in fact it's conceding, isn't it, really? Having trouble with scrum, bringing on another prop. They've conceded they've got a problem, so let's see if they can rectify that.
Scrum penalty, and he wants it taken again. From a couple of 100 kilometres north of Durban. They've been winning most of their throws.
So 14 minutes already gone in the second half. It's been unbelievable speed this game's been played at.
Dalton to Teichmann, Van der Westhuizen, Honeyball. Taken down by Kronfeld, but he didn't hang on. Willis has to go after him again. Boots flailing in there. Van der Westhuizen. Little kick made by Snyman. Cullen, that's a fair catch. Good take. Crowd baying for blood as away goes Christian Cullen. Marshall's going to get this, and he'll do the kicking himself.
Yes, New Zealand under pressure, content to put the ball into touch. Justin Marshall's had a great game so far. Well, there it is, 20 points to 5. So Cullen goes up to claim the mark and was taken, ball and all. Now, of course, you can call mark when you're in the air these days. And I think the crowd didn't quite appreciate that.
Andre Fenter with a clean take. Van der Westhuizen up to Andrews, not making much progress. 10-metre line. Now Erasmus to LaRue. Thumping hard at the All Black line. Now Honeyball. But again, they're in 3 or 4 of them to make the tackle on Henry Honeyball. Van der Westhuizen. Now Skinstack. He fires it up to James Dalton. They've made a metre so far. Now Erasmus gets them going forward. And it'll be a scrum.
See, there's some intensity there. South Africa playing very, very well. Hell bent on doing what New Zealand did to them in the first half, breaking the advantage line. There's some tenacious defence, but there's been some great attack. This is a tremendous match.
Let's go, Huff. Give it up. Let's go.
Scrum has collapsed, but it's clear. Honeyball to Peter Muller. Looking for Russo. Straight through and then taken by Cullen. Ball lost. But suddenly a gap opened up for Peter Russo.
Shows the marvellous skill and ability of this Springbok side. Look at that. Beautiful move, really. The key to that move was the way Rousseau ran. Rousseau was almost hidden from the defence.
16 minutes into the second half.
Mate, I must have you pushing squarely or knocking off. Wait!
Complete change around in the Springbok front row. Marshall, as Merton's waiting, immediately lets it rip down the middle. Montgomery, his own 10-metre line. Not sure where to go. Delivers up to Teichmann. Nice little sidestep by the captain. The All Blacks nail him. 5 metres in All Black territory. Honey ball. Short to Muller. Tronfeld's done a lot of tackling in this game. Now Erasmus wide to Rousseau. Hounded. And that would have been interesting. If Mertens had put his boot on that, Cullen would have been almost clear.
Well, the speed of hand in this game is just fantastic. South Africa looking, of course, to put a man in space. But Mertens virtually intercepting that ball, but being tackled before he could get leather to the ball.
Royce Willis. Now, what a remarkable story this is. Royce Willis. 9 games for Waikato last year, 8 off the bench. He really only came into contention in Super 12 with the Auckland Blues, so it's been a remarkable rise.
Well, it has, hasn't it? And sometimes the injection of youth, that enthusiasm, can stimulate other players around him, and he's had a great contribution in this game. He's been a tiger, that's for sure.
Now Van der Westhuizen. They've got to throw caution to the wind shortly, the Springboks. Robertson in there disputing possession.
Well, it should be a turnover.
It is. Well done, Scott Robertson. He held it up. They couldn't get it to ground. It was always a maul.
It's interesting, these things are so crucial, these turnovers. So we'll have a look at it here. So he was tackled, half tackled. And watch Robinson coming in, number 19, holding on to the ball for dear life. It's use it or lose it rule applied.
Here's Randall. Back at number 8 now with the marker off the park. Marshall grovelling in there after it. Mertens pushing it ahead for Wilson to chase on to Rousseau. Wilson had to wait, and it's out. Wilson, of course, was aware that he couldn't tackle the man in the air.
So he checked his stride, and then he blew him into touch, creating a throw-in. But it was a great little kick too by Mertens. Beautifully placed, let's see it. And then he just drove him into touch. It didn't look like he was actually in touch.
Getting up to the halfway mark of the second half. The Springboks haven't scored in the second spell as yet. Robin Brook is taken out. Now Mertens will have a shot from here. Nothing surer. And Robin Brook, a little bit of advice for the Springboks, probably to Andre Fenton.
Let's have a little look. Brook going up, targeting the ball, and somehow, well, we couldn't see it clearly, but Fender, of course, was claiming that Brook was screaming that nothing was wrong, but we will never know.
Hits it beautifully, but he's just pulled it away to the left. Nicely struck, but no goal from Andrew Mertens. 20 points to 5 it remains, and 19 minutes left. Money ball. Randall is going to claim this. Gets some good support. Coming now for Marshall rather slowly. Play on, says the referee. Now he finally gets it away for Cullen. Not a great deal of distance in this kick. Van der Westhuizen, beautifully claimed. Now Muller. Andre Snyman with all the pace that he has. Back for Muller. Thierry Blanche on the far side. 10 out from the 22. Ollie LaRue delivers. Honeyball has to go back after it. Oliver makes another big tackle. Hasn't he had a game and a half? Anton Oliver. Now delivered by Marshall. This could open up for the All Blacks. Away for Ronnie Clark. Looking back inside for the support. He lost it forward. Merton scoops it up. This will be a knock on.
Well, there's no quarter given in this game. Players being drilled to the deck all over the place.
He's got an injury too, Ronnie Clark. So this, as we have a look at this excellent work by Van der Westhuizen.
Yes, and they had numbers to burn out here too. It was great defence. Meanwhile, back to the scrum.
Norman Berryman is on. You can't see him at the moment. But you're willing to tick, I'm sure. Honeyball. Away it goes wide. Berryman gets in to make a tackle early on with Meyerhoffler. What a moment for Norm Berryman. There he is, number 16. The kick made by Van der Westhuizen, but Cullens covered it easily. Brings it back to the open side. Doesn't put any power in. Oh, they've knocked it on. What a shambles. What an absolute shambles.
Yes, they've been unhappy about that. There haven't been too many mistakes in this game. That was one of the rare ones. Well, that's a Ronnie Clark, of course. He's on the sideline. Norman Berryman on the field. This is the first time Norman Berryman has been to a test match live. I was talking to him on the sideline. He said, this is my first time I've been live. And he's on the field for his first test as well.
Fantastic. Tane Randall drags it up a couple of metres. Pops back nicely for Marshall. Robertson on the inside, making one of those runs we saw late in the Christchurch test against Australia. Marshall digs in, but Dalton read it pretty well. Now Kronfeld. There's still some big tackling going on close to the fringes. And hello, Springboks have trapped it in there, and Mertens will have another shot.
Well, we heard Mr. Marshall saying killed the ball. It was an All Black looking desperately to get it out of there. Well, there it is, penalties, New Zealand 10, South Africa 6, so they favoured New Zealand.
Josh Kronfeld down. You can't see him from here, but John Hart, I don't think I've ever seen him before, up and down the sideline talking to the players. I've never seen him out of the seat so much.
Well, I think he'd probably be fairly elated about their performance because they would have done everything that he would have asked. Well, not everything that he asked, but I think that they played so well. It's been really comprehensive, the pressure that has been put on when the All Blacks have had the ball, but also when they haven't had the ball, the offensive defence.
Well, there he is, talking to John Mayhew. Maybe a report on Esi Tolamaka.
Or a Ronnie Clark, perhaps, who's sitting on the sideline.
16 minutes left. It's not over yet, but this penalty goal would certainly help. Mertens likes the look of it, and why not? 23 points to 5.
Well, often you could say that would wrap it up, but I certainly wouldn't be saying that in this game. 2 or 3 tries are often scored in 2 or 3 minutes, the way rugby is in 1998.
Springboks are making wholesale changes here. Franco Smith, Andrew Aitken are going on. So we'll just have to work out who's come off. But Nick Mallard is firing the works in now as the kickoff is made. Down it goes to Carl Hoff. The two new boys combining. Royce Willis controls it very well. Marshall for Mertens. Everything about control today for the All Blacks. Montgomery, they really have to try and attack from the back now. Montgomery on Lomu. He hangs on. He gets fired the wrong way. He's not going to come out of there. In fact, Kronfeld's done a marvellous job, but unfortunately it was seen.
It was seen by the referee and all the spectators too, who were screaming, of course.
Van der Westhuizen to Dalton. Robertson hits him head on with a butte tackle. Now they're going forward. Now Van der Westhuizen. Away for Honeyball. Lomu makes a tackle on him. Look at this tackling from the All Blacks. They're coming from everywhere. Berryman riding Muller down.
But they've still got the ball, South Africa.
They have. Van der Westhuizen, Honeyball. No way through that hole, Henry. But the All Blacks are offside.
We have some people in the crowd standing and applauding the referee. One senses they feel they haven't had enough penalties awarded.
Well, they're going to have a shot at goal.
So let's have a look. Who's offside there? They're all back in the line. Someone right out wide, perhaps Jeff Wilson.
Well, in fact, they didn't go for goal at all in the finish. Montgomery's drilled it down to within 15 metres of the All Black line. 13 minutes remaining, and they have to score 3 times, South Africa.
Yeah, so it's all about options, Grant. They've kicked for the touchline. They've never really cashed in on them yet today. But you're right, they're in a position where they have to score a try now.
Number 17 there was Franco Smith, now Teichmann. Controlled here by James Dalton. Releases to Van der Westhuizen. Here's one of the tries that they need.
The mark of the man. He's an opportunist, he sees a gap, and he scores a lot of tries. Everybody here very happy. Now have a look at this. He looked up, saw the hole, and he just went straight through it.
He's a brilliant player. That's his 5th try against the All Blacks. Quickly taken by Montgomery. The conversion is made. And suddenly it's 23 points to 12. Look at the gap open up here, and he's got blinding speed. Yes, Van der Westhuizen, their 2nd try. Mertens punches the dropping. Ball lost forward.
He's in there as well, guys.
12 minutes left. Westhuizen. They're struggling to get this one back in the scrum. It's going to come, I think. It does. So Honeyball. Gap opens up. Cullen will have to come and meet him. Berryman gets back. Honeyball knocks on. Well, goodness. Big gap.
Honeyball showing great pace there also. Have a look. He sensed the gap and took it. Marshall's on his inside, but Honeyball's got the speed. It's a good little kick over the top. Berryman getting back well. Yes, but it was knocked on. New Zealand breathing a sigh of relief because South Africa, of course, if they score and convert now, they'll be very much in this game. 23-19, anybody's match if that happens.
Well, it was 23-19 2 years ago, Murray.
Get up, boys.
Scrum collapsing. So Ollie Maroon's complaining to the referee there. Mr. Marshall's moved around to this side of the scrum. See what's going on with Hoft and Larue. Not much going on there. Except New Zealand going forward.
Justin Marshall to kick from the base of the scrum, and he's got very good distance indeed. Excellent kick from Marshall. I see Pranau Otu coming back. Well, is it a blood win?
He's been off for an incredible amount of time.
He's been off for half an hour. Obviously he couldn't stem the flow.
Yes, that's sort of almost like substituting players at strategic times. Andrews I see coming off, who obviously has worked hard for most of it, well, for all of this game to date.
Well, it makes a mockery, really, of it. There's no way it was a blood bin for half an hour. Teichmann hands it up to Van der Westhuizen. Now it's away for Honeyball. Going to watch Henry Honeyball starting to cut some capers on the 10-metre line. Now Skinstad pops it back for Franco Smith, number 17. He lays it back. Charge made by Andrew Aitken. The box really on fire here. Now it's away for Smith again. Wide it goes to Ter Blanche. Trouble here. Teichmann dragged down a metre short. All Blacks having to hang on desperately. Now it's there for Van der Westhuizen. Pops it short for Skinstad. He's in.
And the crowd here at Kings Park go absolutely berserk. I was going to say crazy almost. But they are absolutely delighted. In front of the commentary box, everybody's standing. But Skinstad somehow planted the ball over the goal line. Great effort. Crucial try, of course. Crucial try conversion to come at 23-17. Well, we spoke about it. You look at the clock, 8 minutes remaining.
Montgomery converts. 23-19. Bobby Skinstad has scored the third try. And is it time now for the All Blacks to think about one or two subs?
Superb game of rugby. Changing fortunes.
Kick goes to 10 metres. Bounces up. The All Blacks will get an advantage here as the ball was lost forward. Mertens punching it hard. Montgomery again near his own goal line. He'll call for the mark, no doubt. Dropped it. Chased. Fires it back to Rousseau. They've got him. And it'll be a 5-metre scrum. Well. Oh.
So the tactic of Mertens and the tacticians before the game to put the ball high, to put the ball over the ruck or the maul, to put pressure on those back three has paid off. They've done it consistently. All Blacks haven't had much ball for the last 10 minutes. South Africa have climbed back.
This will be a test of strength. The All Blacks will try and shove them over. Controlled by Randall. It looks to be a better Springbok scrum with Ollie LaRue there. And the easiest way to stop it is to collapse.
So New Zealand have got their players rather close to the scrum. They're not spread out like normal, which of course brings the defence in too close. Perhaps they're going to try and, if the scrum doesn't go forward, perhaps they're going to try and move the ball to Jonah with huge yardage available on the outside with one-on-one. And Percy Montgomery, it looks like, in the defensive line of the Springboks.
Marshall feeds again.
It's out!
It's out, it says the referee. And they lost it on, knocked it on. What a break for the All Blacks. Peter Marshall said it was out. The Springboks knocked it on.
It's a classic example of that scrum. The All Blacks were in trouble from the time they went down. It's so important to hit. You could almost see them coming back before the ball went in. Front row forwards hate the ball going into the scrum when they're moving backwards, even if it is just an inch or two. It's so often you see sort of professional fouls in the front row when that happens, when people burst up and say, no, we don't want to put the ball. There's a battle going on here, a battle royale. New Zealand desperate to get ascendancy in this scrum.
5 minutes left. The All Blacks could nail the game here if they could score a try.
Stay on, 19!
Controlled again.
19!
Okay, so they may be, half a metre closer to the goal line.
Well, they're eating time up as well.
That's right, and as long as they've got the ball and putting the ball into the scrum is inching forward.
We're waiting. Come on, boys. Waiting.
Well, it's interesting to see Cullen move across with Wilson now on the blind side. Something will happen if this scrum doesn't go forward.
It's a big one too for the All Blacks. Back for Marshall. Cullen almost slips clear. Support's there from Justin Marshall. Big defence from the Springboks. And they get it back. That's the thing. Green ball.
Crucial turnover. That was magnificent defence by South Africa. Cullen having a go and almost slipping through the tackle. So South Africa get another chance. And we look at the clock with 4 minutes remaining. Deep inside, they're 22. Now, what will they do when they win this ball? Will they run it? I guess they'd have to run it, really. Christian Cullen is standing very deep. New Zealand backline is up flat, of course, as it should be. South Africa lined out deep.
Right, so here we go. Tysman brings it out. Robertson meets him hard. Van der Westhuizen, Honeyball blindside. Pops it back to Rousseau. Now Van der Westhuizen, real danger man. They're out to the 22. Handed away by Rousseau for Fenter. Taken by Randall, and it's a penalty. So this will give them plenty of ground. They're going to take it quickly. Be another 10. Tapped again by Teichmann. Muller almost got through, knocked on. Not so sure that it was, but it doesn't matter. Here goes Cullen. Back after it, Rousseau. Chased by Cullen, and he called for a mark. May not have wanted it, really. Broke the momentum for a minute. Now Rousseau slips out of a few. Muller's in the clear. Here's trouble. Cullen got him from behind. Desperate attack by the Springboks. 2 minutes left.
Well, South Africa are equal to the occasion, aren't they? Muller didn't see Wilson or Cullen behind him there. He did the right thing. He sensed the gap, but he didn't sense Cullen. So here it is. South Africa putting the ball into the scrum inside All Black territory. Behind by 4 points, so a penalty's no good. They have to score.
As I said before, it was 23-19 2 years ago to the All Blacks. That's what it is at the moment as Olo Brown gets some attention. Looks like he could be cramping up. Craig Dowd waiting to get on if required. Not required at this stage. The big play of the game. But yes, Van der Westhuizen to feed. Away for Honeyball. Here come the runners. Smith's got room. Ter Blanche out wide. Lomu hit him with everything. And what is it? Late tackle. He kicked it out on the full, but Lomu was a bit late.
So, in the past, Teichmann has elected to kick the ball for touch. I'm sure he'll do that here. They want the line out, they want the try. He'll be saying, put it right in the corner, please. And that's pretty close. So what an excellent position for South Africa.
This could be the last play of the game. Time is up on the clock. That was the late tackle. So here we go. The All Blacks can repulse this late challenge. They'll win the game. James Dalton. Otto. Here they come. Goal line is very close. Peter Marshall gives the try. Who comes up with it? James Dalton scores the match winner.
Well, needless to say, this stadium is going absolutely berserk. The players are delighted. The fans are even more delighted if that's possible, and it's probably not. There's jubilation everywhere. The town of Durban is going to go wild tonight, that's for sure. New Zealand looking fairly desolate behind the goal line. What might have been seemingly having control, so here it is. Otto taking it in, the big drive came on as it spins around as so often it does. Kronfeld left there trying to stop the flow. Well, we can't see it.
There's plenty of advice for Peter Marshall, but he was in good position and he reckoned it was a try. And South Africa have snatched a 24-23 lead. And I figure that this might be the end of it if Montgomery puts his boot to it as he does. Conversion is wide. They're going to carry on. Time to go. So let's have another look here, Murray. Dalton is there. Well, difficult to tell. Mertens goes with a short kick out. Taken down by the Springboks. The All Blacks desperate to get that one back. They needed it. Van der Westhuizen, a honey ball. Now they'll have to attack from the back. So Tane Randall has it. Frees it up for Marshall. Nowhere to go, Justin Marshall. They came up in a line. Andrew Mertens looks one way then the other. To Mark Meyerhoffen. Can't get through Honeyball. Pinned in their own 22. Have to get it wide to the Maximus. Mertens fires it back. They could concede one at the other end. Franco Smith. But Wilson's done well. Right on the goal line. All Blacks might still have this. It's loose. It's all over the place. And it's all over. The Boks have won it.
Well, what have we got here? A match of changing fortunes.